How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to Caswell Customs. Vinny here. Got our buddy Tyler.
What's up?
And once again, we're working on his Ford F-150. So today, what are we gonna be doing, Tyler?
All right, so we're putting a 2-inch leveling kit on this. We're gonna be lifting this up with the jack underneath there, taking the tires out, throwing the leveling kit in there. I think it's a 2-incher, so throw that in there, get a little bit higher, see what's going on.
So we're looking at a 2-inch Supreme suspension lift. So what this is gonna do is it's gonna go underneath the strut at the top and lift the truck up in the front, so you get that nice little lift and it'll level the whole thing out. So first things first, you want to chalk the tires. That way the truck can't move anywhere, doesn't roll on you. Then you're gonna lift it up, put your jack stands underneath it. And then I like to, if I'm just doing the suspension work, leave the jack just slightly lowered underneath there. That way it can catch it if for any reason something else comes out. It's not going to, but it's just a precaution. All right, so once you take the wheel off, what we're gonna be doing is we're adding the spacer to the top of the strut here. So we gotta undo the upper control arm and undo the tie rod so this swings away. But so that we get a little bit better swing angle, all these brake lines and cables, we wanna just loosen them from the mounts. That way it gives us some space to pull away from them. Okay, so went ahead and got the tie rod off. We unbolted the top of the strut. There's 3 bolts up there, and then the last thing we need to do is undo the upper control arm ball joint bolt. We already undid the bolts from the strut and from the sway bar link, so that way, and then we got the jack underneath it. That way when it comes down, it'll sit on that, and then we can pull the strut out, throw the spacer on, and throw it back in. So we've run into somewhat of a snag. So apparently these bolts are supposed to pop out, but we've just not been able to get them to budge. So all we're gonna do is take a pry bar and pry it out, because we've already got it loosened up at the top, and we're almost able to get it just by pushing down on the lower control arm. So I think this should work. Get some, baby. All right, so we were able to get it out, and we literally just took a pry bar and pried it out of there. Don't want all this just dangling too much. I'm gonna put some support back on it, but yeah, we just used a pry bar, pried it out of there. Getting it back in will definitely be interesting, but the fact that we're able to get the bolts in all the way down, push the control arm out, and then pop in should make it a little bit better. But we got her out, now we can put our spacer on. Like I was talking about earlier on the spacer, what you're gonna do is you're actually gonna go ahead and thread these through the bottom, and that way you're able to use the factory hardware. And when you get it on the actual strut, it's easier to feed these up into where they go and line everything up that way. Just like that. Okay, so we have gotten the spacer on the top of the strut. We got it back on after hammering those out. What we did is we literally put the crowbar in between there And then Tyler stepped down on it, and we just forced that puppy in. Let's freaking go.
Let's go.
Somehow this got rotated on us, so we literally had to bang it back into place. And then to get these in, we just used a screwdriver to wedge it back into position. And then stick those in, hit the nuts on them, and then just pull them back through into their grooves. It was a little bit of a messy job, but we're able to get the strut in with the spacer. Now we can start buttoning everything back up. All right, so we got everything back together. Now we just got to put the tire back on, and then we can go to the other side. So the last thing to do is get in there and tighten up the bolts. You're gonna use the factory hardware. All right, so we just finished up the install, and man, does that look good. We were at 36 3/4, and we're now at 39 3/4. And that level looks awesome. So we're gonna get some cleaning up, and then we're gonna pull it out and show you it from the whole side profile. And man, I am stoked to see this. But dude, now you're definitely gonna want to get bigger tires.
I'll get some big boys on that.
You stole my heart of gold after my silver soul. Can you dig any deeper now? I gave you all I own, put you on this golden throne, but I'm a little stronger now. You cashed in on my promises, you know I'm too generous. Now I've learned to never help you out, 'cause I'm done